Hey guys, thanks for being here. I know this is a kind of a last minute, wasn't planned too far ahead, so I appreciate if you guys are here. I really appreciate it. I wanted to, and this is about the garden. We have answers. It's been kind of crazy, but I just wanted to do a live to give you all this information so I could talk to you guys, back and forth in the chat about it as well. But let me see who I have in here. Grizz, I saw you first thing. Pilgrim, how are you? Hey, Kelly, prepping artist. Hope you and Rambo are fine. Michael, Katrinka, hey, how are you? We are Resistance. Thanks for being here. Miss Sharon. Yeah, all chat, live chat, whichever. Hit that like on your way in, pay that rent and stuff. Helps me out. Oh, Huckleberry. Hey, Michael G. If I've missed anybody, I'm sorry. If you have any, hey, she's a wildflower, questions or something direct, please put it in all caps because I will miss it. And if I try to read every little one, I'll go squirrel. And as y'all see how I do. Hey, Satan Hunter. Hey, Doc, how are you? Good to see you. Dusty Country Road, I'm glad you're here. Joe, Jersey Girl, all of you guys, I appreciate it. So a lot of you, you see, and if you haven't, go watch it after this. I had put up some videos and pictures of what happened with the garden. It was bizarre. I've never seen anything like that before. It happened so fast, like literally overnight. It happened so fast. Hey, Charmaine. It was just weird. And as time, hey, Dark Angel, as it went, see, I got to stop because I'll keep on. I appreciate a lot of you though. It was almost kind of sectional, this hard damage. And I just didn't know what, hey, Sandy, what, because I was like, is it a crop dust or what happened? But then around us more and more in my yard and things I have other places and on my porch and in my front, there was no damage. Like you would think if it's something like widespread that was way up in the sky, it would have been more widespread. It was just weird. And hey, Milk Thistle, a Thistle Moon. I always call you Milk Thistle because that's a nerve. I'm sorry. Hey, Dan. Thank all of you for being here. It was just weird. And so I'd been dealing with the ag people. And I sent them video clippings, pictures, everything. The guy got up with me. He was very nice. He was my local ag agent. He was very nice and he was just puzzled. And he said he was concerned. And he said, first of all, the very first thing, if it happened that immediately and there was no something building up, I have these sickly plants, it had to be something immediate. And his first thing was when he saw him, he said, the only thing I can think that would drop leaves, that just dropped your leaves that quick, is something like paraquat or liberty. I didn't even know what those were, but apparently they're not even legal to spray and they're extremely dangerous, on and on. And I thought, oh my gosh, well, where would that have come from? Could it have been that? Because I didn't know to go rip everything out and bag it. Is it toxic? I was trying to get answers as far as that. He went back and forth. He contacted two other, I guess, coworkers that kind of dealt more with certain vegetables. And they looked at it and they were going through the list. So we were going through the list on trying to mark things off. First somebody, is it blight? No, because the fruit then and still now is extremely healthy, still growing, looks great. All my peppers, my tomatoes, I'm still picking things off, but I haven't ate anything in my banana peppers, everything. It's just there's no leaves. It burnt. And it wasn't a dry burnt. It was a chemical burn. And on some of the pictures, I may go take some more because there's some that are still attached, but they're still healthy that are attached to my pepper plants. It has a splash pattern, and you can see the angle it came from. It had this weird splash pattern, and they noticed that, and so they were going through the thing. They asked, do I use any kind of insecticidal soaps? No. Do we use neem oil? No, because I have bees and you can't do any of that. And we do things natural. I expressed all this and they kept going through it. Hey, Rescue, I'm so glad to see you. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. And I will try to catch back up. And they said they had confirmed no crop dusters have been over here, but none come in this area. I'm not in an area that they would be near me anyways. Because that was my first thing, because I thought, did something just go over me really low and just leak or dump something? I didn't know. Then they looked at something. Was it severe acute ozone damage? No, because right all the woods all beside that, I've seen ozone damage on pines before. If you ever seen that before, I'm like, it's too. I was always caught up, and I wasn't. I can be very stubborn maybe about things. I'm like, I'm looking. This is nothing around it except for the immediate surrounding area had any tiny bits of damage, and also even in my garden, there was whole sections that were not touched. And if you saw in the videos behind me, what I'm not showing is like my container herbs, my blueberry bushes, all that, not touched, not a drop. All of it was fine. So that was just, and then it was like the peppers that were the worst are literally right the middle, the center of my garden. And then up against that fencing was all my tomatoes, which those I had to rip some of those out. And my beans, they were all growing up like up the fence that they were against. Everything's gone. So it was like those two sections separated by a little walkway were the worst. So let me move forward and then I'll go back to you guys. Sorry. Wasn't, bacterial fungal, which is a lady had called me yesterday and she wasn't this is before I got the answer I'm getting to. She was asking me all these things and I felt like she wanted it to be certain things. And I was just like, that doesn't fit. I mean, it doesn't work because if you're saying it's this, I know I was coming back with kind of counter debunking things like that. It can't be that. Anyways, it wasn't bacterial fungus because the bottom of the plants were still the healthiest. I never had any indication beforehand. And it did look like the top part got the worst. And a lot of these that go on, if you notice in the pictures, I have huge sunflowers out there. And I think they're great for so many. First of all, sunflowers will draw toxins and impurities out of your soil, but they also are really good for your rotation. And they're good for if you need certain plants that need some type of trellis type thing to grow onto, they'll connect to that. So I love putting those out there. The leaves on my sunflowers were damaged, not as severe as the other ones, but they had damage. And a lot of these things are not likely to damage sunflower leaves. So that was another indication for them also. I've learned a lot about this as well. So they couldn't figure it out. They really just went down checklists. We're rolling everything out. But they did, indicate there's these weird spray splash patterns on all of these leaves and plants. They didn't know. They did say they could come out and do soil testing. They said they go about 6 inches deep. They would need about 4, and let me know that they would be $20 each. It's no longer free for them to test your soil, at least not in my area. I was a bit shocked about that. So I was kind of done after I'd got the one phone call from the lady yesterday. The first guy I've been dealing with was very nice. And because I just felt I'm not getting anywhere. And I kind of felt like she wanted to fit a certain thing. And I was just like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not going to keep on. And plus, I will throw this in the real quick. She also, before we got off the phone, wanted to know if I had registered my garden with Field Watch. I was done by that point with her. Anyways, no, I'm not and have not. So anyways, yesterday afternoon, I got a phone call. Not because I've been doing a lot of emails since the initial contact. I've been doing emails and back and forth with these people. I got a phone call from the original guy I had been talking to. I'm trying not to say people's names for people's privacy. And he's been the nicest. And he has told me several times, he's like, I'm concerned and something that isn't fitting right. It doesn't set right with me with this. He called me and, I was kind of, when he called, I was kind of like, I'm just done with you people. I mean, I know that's ugly. God forgive me, but I just was at that point because I wasn't getting anywhere. And he said that they had got some information and samples that came through that they were taken from a deputy, came from my area. And I thought, okay. And he said there was, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday morning. There are some homes through that protect those woods that are right beside me. Because my fence goes right against acres and acres and acres of woods that is protected, a protected area. So there's no, there's no hunting or building or spraying or anything that goes on there. She, exactly, Saffron. No, never do that. They had gotten a call from a lady. She's an elder lady. She She lives back in there. Like, you could walk through the woods and keep walking for a while, and you'll go to where her house is from where mine is. I know where the house and the individual is over there. Well, I know who she is. We just see them over there. And she had caught on camera. She has a much, much larger garden than what we do. Much older, has different animals and stuff. They had caught on camera. I think it was, what did it say, Friday? I think it was Wednesday morning. I guess they saw on the camera that there was an individual who was on the outside of their property at their fence and was spraying their garden. And it matched the pictures that the deputy and everything took, matched the damage that was on mine perfectly. Apparently there's 3 of us in this this immediate area that were hit within the same week. I mean, I can't comprehend, that was my thing so much with yesterday. I was like, what is the purpose or gain that anybody would do that? It's not they don't think, and the deputies went on. I don't think it's like a targeted individual. Like, I'm going to get, KC. I think it's somebody's in this area, and even the way our road goes. And I have said this, me and Huck have talked about this. I said, when shift happens, there's a small part of me that I thought, from the road that you turn off, that goes by our house, everyone can see that we have a garden and birds and stuff. And there was a couple times throughout the last couple of years, I was like, when shift happens, I almost feel like a sitting duck, because it's just the way our house is situated from the road and the land goes back into the side. I was just like, I just thought that. But then this lady, you can get to my property, her property, and the other house that was hit from these woods, which is a natural place. So people can drive in there. We go back there and go to the water and stuff like that. They could go through there. So I don't think it was a targeted and like a personal thing against me. I just think the only thing I can chalk stuff like this up to is just, somebody's just evil, or they think it gives them some type of power or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to go through some of the things that the ag agent called when he called me yesterday, because there's a deputy going on investigating. They're trying to identify this individual that was caught on this camera, not on mine, at this lady's. So she had a much larger garden that was sprayed. Same markings, same damage, leaf drops, all the fruit on hers is still, that it's producing is fine, like mine. So they went out there and said that she had some plastic type of container things that were just kind of out there, like lid type things. And in them there was some puddling of a rusty color substance. And it was described by the deputy to the ag agent, and I guess he's doing his report and everything, that it reminded him of pepper spray. Because you remember when I think I said it in the video, when we were out there and we were cleaning, because I didn't know what it was. And I thought, I can't leave all this. It's been contaminated, obviously, to keep leaching into the soil. I need to get it all out as quickly as I can, in which we did that. But when I said that, our eyes and our nose were burning. So I was like, it's got to be a chemical. And they were really watery. But then after we, showered and cleaned up, it got better. We didn't feel like that. I just felt like it was, it just seemed like a chemical to me, but it was a burning sensation in your, mucous membranes and stuff like that. They described it like that. They said it was so strong, the coughing. And I think maybe because she has a larger garden, and I think because she has some puddling areas where it had been sitting, that they were exposed to different, I don't know. So, we were talking about that, and he did say they're trying to investigate to figure it out, but it does seem like it's either extremely, extremely concentrated. Somebody either made up a mixture themselves, and it could be, he said it was some type of like really hot peppering, cayenne pepper, chili pepper, something very hot, concentrated powder or liquid. They don't know. Extremely concentrated was sprayed on these areas, because all 3 of us, it matched, and it was in the same week period of time. So, and if I've mixed you, but the ag agent, he said, will be interesting to find out, well, number one, if they identify the person, and if they can identify exactly what was used. He said there is like a gallon, some of y'all may know this, I don't know anything about it. There's a gallon mixture that large farms can use that it's a mixture of, I think he said 3 different types of peppers, extremely strong in garlic. And he said you have to dilute it like 1 tablespoon for like, so many 2 gallons of water or 5 gallons of water, something like that. It is extreme, so much it'll burn you if you get it on your skin. He said, I don't know if it was something like that, but either way, whether they mix it up or they made that, the end of the day is rinsing everything off really good, which it's been raining tons here anyways. And I don't have the effect or smell when I'm out there messing in the garden because I'm still going out there and it looks pathetic. But because there's no leaves, everything kind of looks naked, they sticks, but it has all this, the peppers, and they're still growing. And look, there's no damage to any of that. And they explained because it has enough of a waxing coating on the kind of the fruiting of the plants themselves that it didn't kind of penetrate that. But the leaf, it's a chemical burn because it's so harsh. We could just rinse it off. And, he said, you do what you feel safest for you. But them and the deputy were confident enough that you could just rinse it off and it was fine to consume it. He did say that the biggest thing for me right now is because things are so bare and there's openings where all these leaves have dropped. And he said, if you have tons of rain, it stays really wet and not a sun for it, you can get fungus in those open spots. So I have to watch for that. But there's the answer. It's ridiculous. I mean, just I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, and tons of y'all, I probably got it 10, 15, 20 times, is the news clip about the Oklahoma farmer guy. Thank you all so much for sending that. And to me, and I watched that clip several times. And to me, that kind of did look like that kind of sabotage thing, because he said it was like it was the same thing. It was like overnight. Now his damage looked different than what mine was, but obviously a different method was used, I would say. But my thing is, if this is going on, and of course my big thing yesterday was why? What in the world? It's not like, I'm in competition with somebody or I sell my stuff. This is our family garden. I may trade off and give something to people I know or neighbors, and I have an abundance of this. Would y'all take some of these tomatoes or something? But it's nothing like that. And the other 2 things, there's no connection between us except for where we live. That's it. Now Huck was something kind of mad yesterday, and I thought I was going to have to call Miss Sharon for bail. Now he was mad because it was very intentional. It's right up there at our house, and somebody had to be right there. And just the patterns of how from the get-go, I said where it was, the concentration, the patterns on the leaves, some areas not touched. I was like, it had to have been so localized in certain areas that other things were not touched. I don't know. Pepper spray I'm trying to catch up on all stuff. I'm going way up here. If I've missed anything, if I've missed something, I don't get to it. Put it back down. I'm sorry. I was just talking away. But no, never register. Don't register. I don't have any enemies, Pilgrim. I can't think of anything like that. So yeah, Saffron, it was an intentional as far as just destroying different people. And I have no connection with these people. And even the other 2 people, they have no connection except we're in the same kind of area off of this forest area. And you could walk through the forest to get any of our houses from the other one. Absolutely. Just a piece of crap to do something like that. So I try not to stay in my anger, but it did, because I lost, and I may still lose a lot, but right now, I feel better because I didn't know, what kind of poison are we dealing with? Is this going, I don't want to, us consume it, or should we not even have it in the yard? Or I need to rip it all out? I didn't know where to go. I do hope they identify them. And if they do, I will keep you, posted. But I don't know. It's just ridiculous. People are just evil. What could drive anything like that? You have a garden, I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to do something just to, I guess people will do things, just to feel powerful. I'm going to destroy something else. And again, that is a evil driven thing. Same like the guy in Oklahoma. What is the what is the? Yeah, I guess they have nothing better to do. It's ridiculous. But I'm glad I know because I kind of felt like I was in this holding pattern, and y'all know how much I love my garden. And I'm out there like seriously like 3 times a day. Sometimes I'm just like, hey, Huck, I'm going in the garden. I'm just gonna walk in the garden. I just like being out there. I just like being out there with different things, and I just wasn't sure. I'm like, am I? And I wouldn't walk barefoot because I don't know. I was like, what's in the soil? Yeah, are we? I didn't want my kids in there. I have all this stuff that was. It was still. I had things that were still ripening up, and I would pick them and put them aside. And I thought, I don't know if we can eat this because I have no idea what's on this. Um, I don't know. Oh my gosh, really? People are crazy. I mean, that's just what it has to be because I just think that people are nuts. I think people are just, I mean, that kind of cliche, like haters, just because you have a garden, I don't want you to have it. You have something, I don't want you to have it. I want to destroy it, which is evil driven. And I think that this and that guy in Oklahoma, and there's probably sadly there's others that have this has happened to and may continue to happen. Is I just still always go back. That's spiritual warfare. This evil, is just growing over something. You used to think about how that if you had a garden, like worst thing, and even before, like, well, somebody may be stealing out of your garden. And we talked about that in shift situations about people would, raid or steal, your food out of your garden or different things. Hey, Colleen, is you would think about things like that. I really didn't think about as far as an individual. Now, I'm not saying, the big cats and their agenda and up high in the skies and all that they wouldn't do that. That was my first thought, that it was something of that nature has what had caused that. I didn't think like individuals would destroy just to do it. I mean, when it comes down to it, it just seems like it was just to do it. And the elderly lady and she has a much larger garden, and apparently hers was more severe than mine, to just do it. But she caught him on camera, so I'm hoping that they can identify that. Yeah, I see I'm far behind, but I scrolled up to see. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would, and in some ways, I'd rather have somebody just like stole out of it because they were hungry, or something like that, than it is to destroy stuff or try to sabotage it. I mean, that's just I don't know. And see, we have a lot of cameras, and not on that. They're on the bees. They're on because we have issues with fox and possums and everything getting after our birds and stuff. I don't know. It's ridiculous. So, and also, different things about the bees is bees can go for, it's like 5 miles away or something like that. I can tell you for sure. And they can get in, and that's happened since we've had them. And we've seen that even before we had our own bees, and they can go get, because you may have somebody a mile, 2 miles down the road that sprays a bunch of Roundup, and bees or, things like that can get into it, and they'll get that effect. We've had that happen. And you see them, and they leave the hive, and they obviously have some neurological stuff that's going on, central nervous, because they've gotten into some toxin. Now, could that have just happened with the ones we saw in the garden, or they got into something that was that concentrated that was sprayed, and it could cause the same effect? I guess I don't know. But as far as the hive, they're very active and look healthy. We've been keeping an eye on them. My birds are fine. Speaking of birds, I did run across yesterday when I was talking to the ag agent that called me, the one that was good from the get-go, is I asked, because I said, well, I've had these 3 dead birds that happened prior to this happening. And because it was so many little things that were going on, I'm like, is this all connected? He said he honestly felt, because they've had several of those, it had to do when the fires, because it got really, it was the smoke, but it wasn't like when we had big fires here in North Carolina. It was a different type, because it would make you feel bad. It was all the smoke and fires that were coming down from that big fire in Canada, because they reached, here also. They were seeing that, and they think it was from that, because they had seen several of those during that time, because those happened right before my garden thing happened. So I guess those were not connected. It's just, well, the ought say part of the world we're living in. If it's not one, pick your poison, one thing or another. So yeah, exactly. It's just evil. I mean, it's just people to be it's just a type of vandalization, I think. Us rural folks, that's how we get vandalized. They destroy our garden, I guess. But it's ridiculous. Yeah. There's always I just think people I don't know. I think it must give them something they feel. That's what happened when everybody got a trophy. That's right. It started. Everybody has to feel powerful, or they're in this. You do online stuff these days. Everyone's big and bad behind a keyboard. Come at night, spray, destroy people's gardens. They feel big and bad, I guess. Yeah, I feel confident in it was, and so in the fact that the deputy and the ag agent they feel for certain, but they're testing because there was sitting liquid at that lady's house. They're testing that. It is upsetting, Dark Angel. I mean, I was just like, it's just ridiculous. So that is what we've been told. If I missed anything, I'm sorry. Yeah, like he said, I just have it secured with, and my thing is securing it with fencing so wildlife didn't get in there and get it. That was about the garden. Now we do watch, because if like bears or somebody walked up, and where the garden section is, that was the fencing that somebody had to lean over and do that. Right a little bit down from that are the bees. And man, oh my gosh, if they got his bees or did something. But we have it on the bees because in case an individual came around, or because like bears will get into your hives and stuff around here. And then I have to watch my birds because predators can get it, especially at night. They'll come, and we've been having stuff. Nobody's gotten hurt. None of my poultry has gotten hurt, but they've been coming more at night. So we watch those type of things. Now, as far as, I just didn't think I'd have to do that. I just didn't think I'd have to. Yeah, I'm way behind. I'm sorry. I didn't think I'd worry about the garden in that manner. Yeah, I think so. I think it's just, how you hear things in the news. One of my favorite shows, I know it's old too, is Unsolved Mysteries. I watch it. I watch that. And there's a lot of the type of things you would see on there, and people would do arson. They would do arson in dishes. Like, I'm just going to, and it wasn't like personal attachment to this, building, house, whatever. And they just wanted to destroy and cause problems. It could be even abandoned and empty places. They would do that. That kind of made me think, it's just that I just want to destroy something, and which is evil. That's what I think. So that's where we are. It is. I imagine so, and I imagine her generation. That's a lifestyle. I mean, she's a much younger generation what she is, but this is a lifestyle, way of life, and self-sufficiency and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see if they catch the individual. But like even the ag agents, he said that when the deputy was describing him, he said they would have had to wear something because it was so strong. Just what was puddled and sitting there, but see, that's how we were after. None of it was puddled in my yard. It was just, I guess, on the leaves and ground. It was, I mean, that's why I was like, this got to be a chemical. This is awful. What is going on? It was so bad. I don't know. Who knows if they homemade and mixed up something, or if it was like that ag agency. I don't know what that stuff is called. He said it's a big farms use it. And it's like 3 different peppers and garlic, and it is extremely, extremely strong. It's concentrated. And he did say, he said 100%. If you put really strong pepper, concentrated, any kind of that like liquid stuff, anything like that, it would just sear, burn it just like that. I mean, it fits perfectly. I have confidence in my discernment that that's what it was. I do not feel fearful to consume what is in there. At this point, I do not. Yeah, we've had to put a camera that faces the garden as well now. the fact that, and I will. My thing is we press on and we keep moving forward. It's not gonna um, destroy what I'm gonna keep doing. Um, I have to let that go and say, okay, just God's gonna bless this because I'm gonna keep moving forward and doing as we were doing. And it's just, it could be like, oh, it's a setback, but I'm still better off than the people who do such evil things. And that's what I stand on, and keep going. This is let me see. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, these birds were weird. There was one that was actually on that side over there. It was just like a robin or like just a little wild bird. And then there was two like out front, and that was the week that we were gone. So that was like a bit before the thing with the garden. But see, I just, like anything else in the world, there's so much going on at once. It's not going to be just one thing. They just bombard you, overwhelm you so much. I still feel like that environmentally with toxins and anything to meet their evil plans. And there's a lot they use, and I think it causes a lot of issues. But that's just my opinion, I think. But let's see. Oh, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. I refuse to give. No, don't get me wrong. I was upset. I had a couple of cries out there in the garden. I was devastated. And then I had moments of anger yesterday, and we went back out there and looked after we got off the phone, and we were talking about it, and we were kind of looking if somebody was up against this fence, and somebody was up against the fence and sprayed. And it made me angry because who are they to do that? I've worked hard. Even if it was somebody like I said, that was taking something like, hey, I'm super hungry. No, I got some extra tomatoes and I will give them to you and go be blessed. But to just come up and destroy and like you can't even use it or anything. Big Brains, let's go and give them a shout out. I don't know. It just bothered me. But I am the type, I refuse to stay in that pit. I refuse because they keep on winning, and I just won't give up. I'm just not that type of person. I'm stubborn enough in that way, and I will keep moving forward. Oh, you're gonna have to watch the replay. It was sabotage. It was an individual. There's 3 of us hit around here in the same area. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what the deputy and the ag guy said. It's better than being that, and they were confident in letting me know he was. And he did pass all my images and information and the videos onto the deputy to add to his report about stuff, which is just fine. Hopefully, there'll be enough heat on it that they won't come back around. My thing is, and I'm just gonna. If they come back around and Huck sees them, Miss Sharon, you're going to have to be on some bail money. Yeah. Rescue isn't, at the same time, it's like sad that, especially when you're out here, you're like, especially when you live in like rural areas or anything, it's like, come on, guys, we're all in this together in the sense that the big at the top, everything they're doing, and us, little bottom feeders as they treat us, have enough that we have to worry about. And I don't understand why people, like what just happened on my situation, they just cannot come together and let things, people don't always have to get along, but it's like, we need this community type thing, because somebody who has that in their heart to do something that they did to 3 individuals garden. One of them was an elderly lady, which that turns me over to even more than mine. I am very protective over children and elderly people. Don't play with me. I just am. And they're not going to make it or get no help and shift when things happen, because that is their character. And they're going to have to live with that. So for myself, I still have come up on top, even though they try to destroy something I've worked so hard, and we work so hard at doing and producing and everything like that. Um, they're they're going to have more issues than I have for the damage they did. Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. And that they don't want us to be self-sufficient. They don't want us to anything. They don't want us helping. That's why so much in this world is also the constant divide and conquer. They don't want us to have community and help each other out. And that, oh my gosh, would we have an uprising? Because there's way more of us. They don't want it's all part of it. They didn't even have to come in. They weren't in. They just were. It's like field fencing for that I have up. You probably see it in the videos and pictures before. They obviously just stood right there. They just came through the woods. They stood right there and they sprayed it. I don't think an electric fence would have done anything because I don't think they touched anything. Exactly. Because, I have discernment, but if I really thought like this person's really, they're hungry and I do have extra, I do, and I would, if I had that feeling inside of me, like, they're trying to set me up and they're trying to do something and I can't, no, you need to get on off and, get some pep in your step off of this property. I would do that too. No, I don't. I never stay down long because I can't stay in that. We have to keep pressing forward. It makes Satan mad too because he wants us to be, fall apart. And I just don't fold to that. Yeah, there's a lot of things. And speaking of the rural areas, you know how we talk about like shift and we talk about, we're worried about the people all the time in like urban city areas. And that would freak me out as well. And that they're going to be the immediate when shift comes undone. They're going to be the immediate. They're going to feel it the hardest and the worst we get on. But we've talked about this. Mad Outdoorsman, I've talked about this. Several, different creators. We've said eventually it's going to make its way to the rural things. Things are going to move out, and that's going to happen. We will just have more time. But these little things that are happening, it's pathetic. They're already going on. And so, I hate to say that. I hate to be negative in that sense, but just because you live in a rural area, don't let your guard down. And just this day and age, you can't do that. You just can't. And it's sad, but yeah. See, Huck, y'all gonna get him started. He's Irish, so he has one switch, and if you know Irish people, that's just it, and I hate it. So I try to keep him. Okay, Saint Hunter, you have a good one. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, there's always bad seeds and people everywhere. Oh, yeah, and I did let them know when they were asking me different things. I said, the only thing I've ever used in my garden or around my yard that is not organic. I mean, like I even use food grade diatomaceous earth. You can sprinkle it on roots if you have major bug issues. They help that but I'm still careful where I put that very low an amount because it can hurt your bees as well. I would take like 1 to 2 teaspoons of Dawn and dilute it in water in those sprayer things. If I had really like certain bugs, it doesn't hurt your plants in that, dilute it, but it'll smother and kill those bugs, and it works fine. I said that, and I told them, they said, oh no, that wouldn't do it. And I said, well, yeah, I know. See, same thing. I hate it for them if they come back over here. I really do. I mean, they just better stay on. But people are just crazy. It's sad. It really is sad because at the end of the day, when shift really happens, this pettiness, this nonsense, I'm going to sabotage. Maybe I'm jealous of, I'm just using an example. I'm jealous over your garden. I don't want you to have, it feeds me somehow to be destructive and hateful. Those people are not going to last because nobody's going to help them. And people are going to go after them because they're not going to take their chances with them coming around. And I know, Grizz, you've had a ton of stuff with all that. And we do. We have it bad over in this area. Yes. Yeah, that's all I can say. I don't want to. Lots of Irish. Yeah. So y'all know. Y'all understand. TT1. TT1's here. And I've been like, TT1, I don't know what's going on. I was with this, that, bless his heart. Me and Huck just love him to pieces. And speaking of TT1, he has his Saturday shift tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go check him out. That is our compression for the week and laughs, and he's great. He's just a great person. Yeah. That's right. That's all our gang. What you're gonna need, but keep on your toes. I want to let y'all know. I appreciate all of y'all with your help about everything that's been going on and getting me through this, and keeping me in your prayers. I mean, I have been flooded with things and I would welcome. I was like, does anyone know? Has anyone seen it? Because I had never seen anything like that before. It was literally like overnight, and I could tell it was chemical. I was just, but I'm okay now. I don't stay down or angry or anything too long. I don't, I just don't do that. I'm not going to give them that power, because even, when they're going on it, they're still controlling the situation. And if you allow them to, keep you upset or building up that anger. Oh no, we can't do that. Now we're human. We get angry. You should. That's a big thing. Is don't ever think, nowhere as a Christian or anything did not say we could not get angry or have emotions or deal with stuff. Jesus flipped tables and chased people with whips. Come on now. So you just can't let it make you turn around and have a vengeful heart or things like that. Don't do that. Don't give things like that the power and control over you. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. So here I am. I'll keep on keeping on. I'll keep you updated. I'll show you my harvest, because I constantly pray over my garden. I walk and pray in my garden all the time. Every night, my kiddos and I, we pray for a hedge of protection for us, our home, our land, our garden, our bees, our chickens. We constantly pray about that. And I still will continue to do that. I will not ever waver in doing that, because like I said in my little thing down there, somebody meant that for something evil and harmful for us. Well, God's going to bless that. Because when somebody comes at you with something evil, destructive in that manner, you stay faithful. You do what's right. You keep on. You keep your faith. You keep trusting God. Say, okay. And He's going to bless that situation. He is. And it may not look like it, but He will. And He wants you to trust Him. And we just keep on keeping on. We do our thing, and He's going to take care of the rest. And I firmly believe that in all areas of life. Julie, I'm in North Carolina. All the things. Yeah, people are nuts. I mean, just people are nuts. But I wasn't going to keep you guys long. I appreciate you, and thanks for everything. And let this kind of be a step ahead warning, just in case you ever see something kind of going on weird like that, or keep an eye on your things. If you have an extra camera or have one put out, just watch your areas. Watch out for your neighbors, especially your elderly neighbors and stuff. Those who are more vulnerable, watch out for them. We're instructed by God to do things like that as well. So I wanted to bring it full circle. Autistic. I mean, there's no leaves, but as far as like the stems and everything that are, Miss Sharon, as far as the stems and everything and the fruit that's on it, they look extremely healthy. Just some of them are completely bare. Now my tomatoes plants are some of the leaves, they look worse, and they didn't fall off. They just kind of got that damage, and then they're kind of dying off, and they like have yellow and brown on them now. I cut a lot of them off. 2 of them I pulled completely out because they looked like they were almost saturated, and I pulled them out. But the fruit is still ripening up. It looks like really good. It just has no foliage and leaves on it. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep on. So I did ask, did he think, because of what it was, I don't think I'm going to do the charcoal, because it's not a chemical type thing. And the way that you deal with things like this of this nature, get on there. is rinsing it really good and making sure that things don't get like where, because it's so bare with the leaves all come off, it doesn't stay so wet that you have to look out and make sure you don't get fungus or something. And the leaves will come back. The fruit's still doing well. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, they were kind of, I think, well, especially the first guy. He was just he said that he was so intrigued by the situation because he said, I've never seen anything like that. He said it's obviously it's burned. There's splash and drip patterns on it. And it was just some type of burn, but he was concerned about what this is, or if it was one of these two chemicals he had talked about, then it could be extremely dangerous because they're not even supposed to be sprayed. And he did from the get-go. He said, do you think it's an individual and everything? I said, I don't know anybody that would do something like that. I don't have anyone that I would think, oh, they'd probably do something like that. I just, on a personal level, like whatsoever, like at all. But it all really did fit because of how it went. So we're going to keep on, and I will keep you posted. Yes, it could. And y'all I hate to say stay on guard because I don't want you to be paranoid and freaked out and, not living your life like you should. But just it's lesson learned. And same thing with that guy. If you haven't seen that clip about that guy in Oklahoma, same things. That to me looked exactly like somebody sabotaged that. Somebody did that personally. I don't know. But anyways, y'all keep doing the things. Keep your chin up. Don't ever let anything, even if it seems horrible or harsh or all different types of manners, don't let it keep you down. Just stand back up, dust yourself off, and you press on. That's what we got to do. So I'll leave that with you guys. And I will see you next time, Sunday. And if you have anything, throw it down in the comments. You have something coming up, throw it down there. But I will have, and that's why I wanted to keep this separate because you know how I do my Sunday chats. I wanted to keep it separate. But I will be, I'll be here Sunday. I will see you guys then. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Huck's about to go grill me some steaks. And we're just going to enjoy the rest of our day. I appreciate all of you guys. I love you guys. I'm always praying for you. And I will see you next time.